Hello everybody, Joe Bag Donuts here. Welcome back for another episode of Umineko. Finally getting around to recording the first episode of episode 3 for the questions arc. If you can't tell, I'm a little tired today. I technically slept today. I got put on the weekend shift. The weekend night shift. I've been on the weekend shift. You guys already knew that, but I was told on Wednesday, like, hey, we forgot to tell you, Thursday you're starting your weekend night shift, so that's enough. Like, one day is enough to, like, completely transition from a daytime to a nighttime schedule, right? And I'm like, no, but I have to do it anyway. And they're like, yeah. So I've been zombie mode the past couple days, and I pulled a muscle in my neck at work the other day. I was lying on my back trying to, like, remove sealant from a light on, like, the underside of the jet. And, of course, it's, like, fucking 20 degrees because it's nighttime out, so the sealant is, like, all hard and doesn't have any give to it, and it's, like, not coming off. So I'm fucking on my back, like, with a big screwdriver just trying to peel it off, and then, like, it slips off, but I'm still tense, so my arm goes, like, back over my shoulder, and it just goes... So now it feels like I just have a golf ball sitting inside my neck, which is great. I've taken my ibuprofen, so hopefully that'll ease my pain a little bit, and I've made my coffee. Also, I finally caved and turned on the heating to my house because, it's been getting chilly. And it doesn't help that I recorded my sunroom, which was built as an addition onto this house, so there's no foundation underneath it. It's just like a 1.5 feet off the ground on like stilts or whatever, which means all the cold air and the cold ground is right underneath it, so it just soaks up all the cold air from right underneath it, so it turns the floor into like an ice sheet. But I got my nice Crocs to protect my feet, my nice fluffy robe, and the heater is on. Alright, that's enough dilly-dallying. Let's just hop right into it before I start boring you all to death. Let's see what it's going to be like this time, because I think for the difficulty setting for, well, quote-unquote setting, for episode 2 was like first rate, like you're not supposed to be able to get this. Like, completely understandable. This one, it's labeled as fair. Fair for the witch, fair for us. Teams have formed. Lamb Delta is on Beatrice's side, which honestly seems like it's going to do more harm than good to her effort. And, now we got Burn on our side. The vase was very, very beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as young as I was, it still forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty. Of course, it was one of Grandfather's favorite collection pieces. So that it didn't accidentally destroy its fragile beauty, I was always strictly ordered never to touch it. Just makes you want to touch some more, yeah. That's just made me want to touch it. You could always see right through it, and yet it was so elegant, it appeared so weightless, and yet it had an indescribable presence. I wanted to see what it felt like to touch a vase like that. However, just as Grandfather had said, it was something that must not be touched. This much beauty arises precisely because it must never be touched. It was a beauty that could only dwell in something so fragile it would break at a touch. Which is exactly why, if it were to be touched by my impudent finger, it would oh so easily. Just like an enjoyable morning dream fading into nothingness as you wake. It vanished, fell, and broke into smithereens. I realized that, because of my own foolish curiosity, I had done something that couldn't be taken back. And it's fine. I doubt it has much sentimental value to him, and really, like, big things like art for rich people, it's just a way to, like, store their wealth in something besides, like, liquid cash. And they have it insured, so really, fucking no skin off his nose. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the broken vase would not return to its original form. I'd probably be scolded by Grandfather, probably very harshly. Frightened, I ended up breaking into tears and sobbing. As I did, I noticed something beautiful. Lightly dancing golden butterflies were coming towards me. The beautiful butterflies began to gather, one at a time, glittering fantastically with glowing golden powder. Oh, it's Beatrice. That reliable golden witch, Beatrice, had arrived. Well, they're referring to grandfather, so it's one of the grandkids. Don't know whose. Oh, whomst? Nice track, though. The butterflies gathered one after another, grouped together, and there became her form. That's not Bito. She was always on my side. Whenever I was in trouble, she would always appear and help me. Was she a stand? Jessica? Or Maria? It sounded more like Jessica. But they're putting on a, little child's voice, so.
このような絶好のお茶会日和にどうして姫様はそのように涙をこぼされているのですか？
おじい様が大切にしていた壺をおじい様に怒られます。どうしたらいいかわからなくて。
それは困りましたね。これは親方様が大層お気に入りになられていた壺のはず。どのような折檻があるか、このベアトリーチェ、想像するのも恐ろしいございます。
Grandfather was a very frightening person. And once he told you something, if you failed to follow it, he would become mad with rage and would make even the fallen angels in hell quiver. I was intimately familiar with that, which is why I couldn't do anything but shake like this and cry.
こぼしてしまった姫様の涙を救う魔法は持ち合わせておりませんが、姫様が親方様から折檻を受けなくて済むようにする魔法ならなんとかなるかもしれません。
本当？
姫様が私の力をお信じくださればでございます。魔法の力の根源は信じる力。奇跡はそれを強く信じる者の前にしか示されません。
Go watch Little Witch Academia.
信じる。ベアトリーチェの魔法を信じます。だからこの壺を直してください。お願いします。
姫様がそれをお望みでしたら、それではこのベアトリーチェにお任せを。
You say you're Beatrice. Once she extended her index finger, the golden butterfly softly landed there and changed its form into her favorite magic wand. Even that was enough to give me a small glimpse at Beatrice's wonderful and great magic power. She pointed her wand at the broken vase, and, just like a child's lullaby, she began speaking the magic words.
さあさあ、目を閉じてごらんなさい。そして思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。それはきっととてもとても美しい姿。
You're too nice. Where's the heel turn?
どうか私にあの姿をもう一度見せておく。
We can't have good witches. Were they words, or was it a song? No, it was surely magic. After all, can't you see? The pieces of the vase are gathering together in no time at all, and softly returning to the place where they had been displayed, returning to their original beautiful form.
すごい。
ほら、これで元通りですよ。これで親方様にお叱りを受けずに済みますね。
Thanks, Beatrice. Also, where are we? Is this like the backside of the chapel? Or whatever? I don't know. Or some part of the island we don't know?
壊れた壺を直すなんて造作もないんだね。
そんなことはありませんよ。壊れてしまったものを元に戻すのはとてもとても
Yeah, you
難し
just
い
need
こ
Gorilla
とで
Glue
す。
or some JB Weld.
私の魔法は一時それを思い出させるだけに過ぎませんよ。
でも 壺はちゃんと元通りになったよ。
そうですね。
Mm-hmm.
ですがそれは壺が壊れたという運命を回
Oh
避さ
god,
せ
now
た
we're
わけ
getting
ではあり
into
ません。
fucking Nasuverse shit, fucking Mystic Eyes of Death Perception kind of thing.
壊れた壺に一時壊れる前の姿を思い出させるだけに過ぎませ
If
ん。
it has a beginning, it must have an end, yada yada yada.
壊れた運命を元の姿に
Nothing
修
is
復するほどの魔
without
力
an
は
endpoint.
このベアトリーチェにも未だ至らぬ遥かな高みなのです。
At that time, a high-pitched scream of a servant could be heard from inside the mansion. When I went to see what had happened, I noticed that several of the servants had gathered and were cleaning up the remains of the broken vase. From what they said, it seemed that a black cat had sneaked in from somewhere, climbed up to the vase, and toppled it over. Is it sneaked or is it snuck? I feel like snuck isn't a word, but it's just one that everyone uses. And like sneaked is probably like the proper word. I understood the meaning of what Beatrice had said. At the time I broke the vase. The vase had been broken. Beatrice had shown me that the vase had been restored, but that had been a temporary thing. It didn't mean that the fate that the vase had been broken had changed. As a result, the vase had remembered its true fate and broke. But I hadn't broken it. Instead, it had been a cat which had snuck in. Oh, that's right. Beatrice hadn't said, let's mend the vase. She had said she would make it so that it didn't have to be punished. The fate of the vase breaking hadn't changed, but the fact that I had broken it certainly had. Beatrice had skillfully saved me from the danger with that magic.
物を壊すことはとても容易なことです。姫様が壺を割るのに魔法を必要としなかったように。
直すことはとても難しい。
Yeah, ever try to fucking glue all a bunch of little glass shards back together? It's awful.
はい。姫様が途方に暮れて泣き出してしまうほどに。
魔法というの
And
は
then there's like the little bits that
珍
like
しいことをする
break
時
so
の方が
fine that
た
there's
や
like
すいの？
you can't even do anything with them, so you just gotta like fill in the gap with something else.
壊したり殺したりすることは簡単にできるのに、
Sure is.
直したり蘇らせたりするのはとても難しいというし。
Yeah, put the milk back in the bottle.
そうですね。魔法は殺めたり壊したりすることの方がとても簡単です。故に誘惑に負ける弱き魔女たちは安易に身につけられる力に酔い、本当の魔法の修行を怠ってしまいます。
Yeah, understandable.
本当の魔法とは治す力、蘇らせる力、散ってしまった幸せを呼び戻し、冷めてしまった愛をも呼び戻す。そして微笑を忘れてしまった姫様の
Well,
顔
this
に
all sounds
笑顔
nice,
を呼
but
び戻せるのですよ。
なら壺を直すことができたベアトリーチェはすごい
you
魔
seem
女
to
と
be
いうこ
an
と？
exception if that's your true philosophy from the other witches we've seen.
私などまだまだ修行の日々ですよ。壺が割れるという運命を私の魔法ではほんの1時間も忘れさせることができなかったのですから、私に魔法を教えてくれたお師匠様ならきっと壺を元の姿に蘇らせることができたでしょうね。
壊れても壊れても何度でも何度でも直せる？
ええ、その境地に達した時無限の魔力が備わるでしょう。
Neat.
それこそが魔女の達するべき無限の境地。私たちはその魔女を最大の敬いをもってこう。
無限の魔女。
そうです。無限に治す力を持つ魔女にとって壊れるという概念はもはや存在しない。失うというすべての悲しみから解放され、永遠の至福を約束されるのです。
Sounds real handy. Certainly, the human world is full of sadness caused by separation and loss. To escape that sadness, people pray to God and ask for the power to withstand the sadness, believing it to be a test. In other words, a human's life is a journey, searching for a way to withstand sadness. In that case, a witch who could revive all things would be freed from all sadness in the world. In other words, it is eternal bliss.
私も トリーチェみたいな魔女になって永遠に幸せになれるかな。
姫様がですか？それは長い大変な修行となりますよ。
There's also the chance that this character here isn't, one of the Ushuramias. Just dawned on me too.
私魔女になりたい。幸せになりたい。ベアトリーチェの弟子になりたい。
そのお気持ちにいささかの揺らぎもありませんか？
はい。私も魔女になりたいです。
Seems like a pretty rough path to be starting down.
では姫様がお飽きになるまで私の弟子にして差し上げましょう。私のことをお師匠様と呼べますか？はい、
お師匠様。
良い返事ですね。ではこれからは私と一緒に魔法の深淵を学んでいきましょう。私とって修行の身、共に魔法を正しく学び、
they say one of the best
至
ways
福
to
の
learn
境
is
地を目指して
teach
頑張
someone
りま
else.
しょう。
It really makes you critically think about how you're doing things. Oh god, thank you for blinding me. Wakey wakey, Beatrice. Quit reminiscing. Mm-hmm.
夢か。懐かしい顔だ。
Endless Witch, was it? A name that I had yearned for in the past as the highest achievement, now just another one of my titles. No, you can even call it a name.
たまにはその呼び名に充足を感じるのよ。お長き修行の日々の果てに得たものではないか。たまにはありがたみを感じる。
Just don't let it go to your head too much, but feels already a little late for that. I shook my head lightly. If it is called the highest level, that means there is nothing higher. An eternal dead end, the beginning of eternal boredom.
お師匠様は言っていたが、すべての悲しみから解き放たれることは、すなわち永遠の至福だと。だからこそ、お師匠様はその域に至れなかった。
Probably not. Eternal bliss means eternal boredom. It's the beginning of eternal torture. But perhaps all things depend on your point of view. Eternal boredom is the same as a sketchbook that doesn't run out of pages. It means you can draw whatever you want. You can put in as much effort to enjoy it as you want. Boredom is the worst poison that kills all witches. To the great witches who hold the title Lady, this is frighteningly true. It is the eternal poison that tortures them because of the eternal bliss that they have reached.
無限の魔女の名を得た今だからこそ、再びお師匠様と語らいたいものよ。
She's still kicking, or?
我らの修行の果てにあったのは本当に幸せだった。
Was the Umineko When the Seagulls Cry really the friends we made along the way?
本当の幸せとは何なのか。
Training has no end. When you think you have reached the eternal level, that is the time to regret your immaturity. As if in answer to my own words, a memory of her saying something like that entered my mind.
なるほど。
Yep. And no more satisfaction in overcoming challenges, if, you're at the highest level and there's nothing left to do.
それはよい、それはよい。
Yeah, your personality could use a little bit of work. Some painfully shrill laughter could be heard. It was from my furniture. Did they break their toy again?
ベアドリーチェ様、こいつまた動かなくなっちゃいました。
Yeah, patch him up.
まだ私全然遊び足りないのに。
Oh god, you all look so similar. It's gonna be hard to recognize you at a glance.
情けない男。私なんか全然遊んでないのに。私にも遊ばせて遊ばせて。お黙りなさいクズどもが。お前たちが飢えた犬みたいにがっつくから。
So you're the leader of this little fucking pack?
すぐ壊しちゃうのよ。
サタン姉が一番壊してるよ。加減を知らないから。
申し訳ございません、ベアトリーチェ様。グマイどもをどうかお許しください。
Okay, Lucifer being the leader, I guess, makes more sense.
早くこいつを直して。次は私、次は私。
静かにせぬかやかましい。
Shoot, be gone. Just from that single yell, the noisy Sisters of the Seven Stakes disappeared and hid. They had just, they just mess around, having as much fun as they want breaking him. They could only come to me to clean up afterwards. Good grief. My furniture doesn't let me get bored. What remained after the pieces of furniture hid themselves was just the sloppy mess that was all that remained of the broken toy. It had no form anymore. Just turned into hamburger meat.
このざまでは、わらわとて元の姿を思い出すのも難しい。
Yeah, you know, you can take some creative liberty putting it back together.
当の本人に思い出させるのが一番か。やれやれ。
I waved my golden pipe. And I told, I chanted, I made it remember.
さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。何しろわらわには、今のそなたは肉の残骸の山にしか見えぬのでな。どれが腕やら
Just
足やら。
put yourself back together, like,
見当もつかぬ。
or fucking put yourself back in the original shape. It's like the metal that has like memory characteristics to it, where you can twist it up, but then you apply heat and it just morphs back into its original state.
そなたが思い出してくれなければ、わらわにはそなたの面影も思い出せぬ。
By the power of the magic, the pitiful pieces of meat began to remember what their form had been. Who was connected to who? Where was joined with where? That's right, just like that. No, you should be a finger on the left hand. And you, the right hand. That's it. Good. Cackle.
おはよう。目が覚めたか
Hey, Valor.
後ろ宮バートラ
I assumed as much.
もっとも目が覚めた方が悪夢の中とは実に
Yeah, can we get around to playing another
皮肉な
round?
話だな
Instead of just, you fucking ripping him to shreds? You want some ibuprofen? It'll help.
わらわを魔女と認めさえすればすぐにそなたの悪夢を覚まし天国へいざなってやろうぞ。わらわこそは煉獄山の王。わらわの許しなしにこの地獄より抜け出す方法はな
I
い。
don't know, man. I played the Dante's Inferno action game for the Xbox 360. It was not that great, but you can get around in hell and purgatory, without really many people's permission. Well, I guess Purgatory is supposed to be the sequel, but it never got made.
この程度で地獄かよ。ダメ。ああ、全然ダメだぜ。
人ならば一度しか味わわずに済む死の苦しみを
Well, most people.
もう両手の指では数えきれぬほど与えられたというのによくもそれだけの減らず口を叩けるものよ。
A man's just spiteful.
だからこ
He
そ
just wants to see you laid low and prove that witches aren't real.
そなたには飽きぬのよ。
But how long have you guys been doing this song and dance now?
ああ、全然飽きねえぜ。何しろ太ももの眩しいバインバインの姉ちゃんたちがよりどりみどりのハーレム状態なんだからよ。
Well, you know, look on the bright side of things.
おかげさまでまるで退屈しねえぜ。
それはよかった。そうでなくてはわらわも退屈だ。それ家具ども直してやったぞ。
Uh-oh.
また存分に遊ぶがよい。
ありがとうございます。私がいただき。
Ooh, this might hurt.
だからあんたは終わりよ終わり。次どきなさいよ。素敵よね。
I don't know, man. Putting up with like this much concentrated estrogen in the room seems like more of a hell than just getting torn apart and being revived over and over.
モテモテじゃない。
モテる男は辛いぜ。
Well, yeah, just look at that fucking drip.
畜生ども。順番に並びやがったんだ。
虚勢など張らずに素直になればもっと楽になれるのに。
いいなよ。
Oh man, guys gotta have an image to maintain.
その方が悲鳴が気持ちいいもの。
さあ今度は簡単に壊すんじゃないわよ。いいわね。返事はあんたが仕切るんじゃないわよ。さあバトラ君、さっきの続きよ。マスターキーでジェシカちゃんの部屋を施錠した後、どうやって室内の死体のポケットに鍵を戻したというの？
例えばよ。
This is how it goes, just non-stop questioning and, you know, get it wrong, just...
そうさ。釣り糸か何かを使って鍵だけを扉の隙間から室内に戻して。
It's pretty impressive, you know.
甘いな。六軒島に存在するすべての扉は鍵が通り抜けられる
Really? None at
隙間
all?
などない。
That's like a really, like, tight fit. God, it must be awful in the summer when it gets humid and, like, the wood expands. Fucking all the door frames must be wrecked from people just slamming the doors because they don't fit right.
外れたね、外れたね。
That's the nice thing about winter, though. My doors upstairs, like, in my bedroom, actually close properly now. It's fantastic.
さあ今度は私よ。私の番なのよ。どこを貫いちゃおうかな。私手の甲。
I mean, worst places.
ずるい。じゃあ反対の手の甲。
What, next one's gonna be in the side?
私は花の頭をもらっちゃおっと。
なんで私にもやらせて。私にも貫かせて。
You don't have to if you don't want.
レビア姉はトロいのよ。いつだって私たちは早い者勝ちでしょうが。じゃあ私は足の甲をいただいちゃお
Oh
う。
god, just the top? I can rip your tendons. Ugh.
私は肩をもらっちゃうからいい
Ooh.
の。
姉妹なんだろ。
Yeah, family's supposed to get along. Yeah, you're definitely gonna need this ibuprofen.
よくも耐えるものだな。お前のその痩せ我慢がむしろ私たちを楽しませているだけ
No,
だ
my
と
man aims to
なぜ
please.
気づかない。
あいにくだな。痩せ我慢と肘の張り合いは
Fake it till you make
俺
it,
の
bud.
お箱なんだ。
Works for me.
お前らがどう俺を煙に巻こうとも俺は絶対に魔女も魔法も認めねえ。
人間とトリックで何も説明できないくせに。
Mm-hmm.
バカじゃないの。
I mean, whoever said humans were logical creatures, huh?
この身の程知らずが。
いいのよ、無理に認めさせなくても。今に泣きながら認めたくなるわ。今だって本当は哀れに土下座しながら許しを請いたいくせに。
Maybe not from you guys.
もう壊しちゃった。ベアトリーチェ様。
Get the super glue.
わらわがいくらでも蘇らせられることを知っているから、家具どもも壊すことに躊躇がない。
Yeah, they don't seem to know much restraint.
困ったもの。
Endless rebirths give me free reign over endless deaths too. Before the endless witch Beatrice, all death in life has no meaning. Even death can't serve as the key to escape from my cage.
さあバトラー、再び元の姿を思い出すがいい。何度でももてあそんでやるぞ。なるほど。
Can we get an assistant here?
永久に遊べる玩具とは実に愉快よ。なるほどな。これが無限の境地に至った魔女が得る至福の境地と
No,
やらな
I think you're just twisted.
なるほどなるほど。これは確かに愉快で至福だ。何度でも蘇らせてやる。何度でも殺してやる。さあ、
He's like, take the man out to dinner first.
次なるゲーム版ではどのような殺人劇を繰り広げよう。さあ、新しきゲーム版を持て。次なるゲームを始めようではないか。
Halftime's over. Oh, damn it. I cut her off before she did her Ushurmiya Batla! Fucking yell. I was going to put down my coffee cup, and because I'm an uncoordinated oaf, as I put down one hand, I push down with the other hand, which is resting on the inner key, and, you know, it moved the dialogue. Oops! Sometimes it do be like that. And we get to listen to this OP for the third time. And see CGs for stuff we haven't seen yet. That hopefully doesn't spoiler. That doesn't spoil like anything too great. Interesting, it doesn't let me like skip at all. There's like nothing. Space, exit, enter, shift, control, alt. Nada. It's like I don't mind listening to it again, but you know, we got things to do, you know. Places to be, people to see. And, you know, we sure are seeing some characters. We still need to be introduced. Ah, on the high seas. Listening to Sea Shanty 2 in Port Serene.
すまんな。ゆうべからカリカリしとるんや。気にせんでやってくれんか。
Also, God, I hate this shaking. It makes it really hard to read. Rudolph and Hideyoshi went out onto the deck and took out some cigarettes. Yvette had always hated the smell of cigarettes, but when she was in a bad mood, she got even more oversensitive. The two of them had attempted to spend some relaxing time smoking until they made it to the island, but they had gotten yelled at and chased out onto the deck. Hideyoshi tried to use his lighter, but didn't go well with all the strong winds on the deck. Yeah, you need to get a good lighter. Rudolph took out a Zippo with a stylish gesture and let Hideyoshi borrow the flame. Ooh, can you do like the, I used to be able to fucking light a Zippo with one hand. Like, you do the flick it open and light it all in the same motion. I fucking can't do that anymore.
戦後すぐや。最初はタバコを転がしとってな。自分の売り物に手をつけてしまったわけや。
Yeah, that's why I just smoke a pipe. You know, people can't fucking bum tobacco off you that way. You probably should stop. It's real bad for you.
わしが聞く耳持たんもんだから、あれももう
Also,
すっ
cigarettes
かり
stink.
諦めよった。
That's also one of the reasons I smoke pipe tobacco is it doesn't have that like overpowering like gross cigarette smell. It's more of like a mellow smoky smell instead of like the sharp, almost like sour of like cigarettes.
やはり男は強情でなくてはあかんな。
Hideyoshi laughed heartedly, but Rudolph chuckled. After being scolded by Ava and told to smoke outside, they had dejectedly fled to the deck together. There was almost no doubt he was under her thumb. Yeah, and it's pretty clear who wears the pants in that relationship.
普段はそこまで短気じゃないや。
You sure about that?
いや、普段はもっと温和なおとなしい女なんやで。
I really don't want to think of like a 40-year-old woman as a tsundere.
毎年毎年この日になると人が変わりよるんや。
I mean, that's some good gap moe, but
そうなんですか。俺らがよく知る昔
leaves an odd taste in the mouth, you know.
そうや。後ろ宮家のエヴァに戻るんや。でもそれはわしと一緒のエヴァとは違うんや。
You know, different masks, different occasions, all that. Understandable she's on edge too with this big fucking conference.
そうやな。あのクラウス兄さんから金を脅し取ろうっちゅう計画や。親族会議なんて名ばかりのこれはただの兄弟喧
Just
嘩
going
や。
there to fucking gang up on him and, you know, put the screws to him. With the family conference ahead of them, the three siblings, excluding Kraus, had made a secret contract. Each of them had a pressing situation to deal with and urgently needed a lot of money. And the only one that could help them was Kraus, who spoke for the Ushermia head since Kinzo was shut up. Since Kinzo was shut up in his study. I mixed like Kraus and Kinzo together. They had long felt that Kraus had started taking advantage of Kinzo's loss of interest in his own wealth and was embezzling that wealth for his own use. When everything had been going well for the siblings, even though they had found it detestable, they had pretended not to notice. But now that they needed money, they couldn't just quietly accept that. Ava had called Rudolph and Rosa into an alliance, and they were planning to exploit the knowledge in order to draw money out of Kraus.
わしもそしてルドルフ君も社長や。社員の生活を背負っとる身や。
Gotta make the hard decisions for the people under you.
ローザも社長ですよ。ま、道楽ですね。
Yeah.
そうやな、失礼。つまりわしらは
Man,
誰
poor
も
Rosa.
が背負うものを持っとるっちゅうことや。
俺も幹部連中の前で単価を切った以上、目指して泥をすすってでも
Yeah, I'll give you the money if you eat this bug.
お互い様や。わしもわしを信じてついてきてくれた社員たちを裏切れん。それこそクラウス兄さんの首根っこをひっつかんででも金を引っ張り出さんといかんのや。
Well, maybe don't go, you know, throttling him. I don't see, you know,
兄貴は昔から
physically squeezing the money out of him ain't gonna do you much good.
その兄貴と全面対決しなくちゃならねえんだから。そりゃカリカリもするだろう。
やっぱりエヴァはクラウス兄さんとは
I mean, it seems like all the siblings are on pretty bad terms with, like, everyone else.
本人話しませんか。そりゃもう盛大に。
昔の話は聞いても話してくれんのや。
Yeah, it's probably not the nicest stories to tell.
思い出したい話がないんやろな。
Gosh, are we done passing the camera yet?
容量も良くて頭が良かった。成績も良かった。それに比べ兄貴は盆栽だった。ただそばにいるだけでも十分にプレッシャーだったの。 兄貴はわざわざそれを誇示して兄貴を追い詰めていた。
アホやな。なんでそない敵外心むき出しで追い詰めるんや。そういうのは要領がいいとは言わん。
Yeah, because she was acting out. She was probably jealous and angsty.
確かに兄貴は女に生まれたことを悔やんでた。だから男というだけの理由で当主を継ぐことが決まっている兄貴が。
There we go. You guys just all need to go to like family counseling, like for real.
だからことあるごとに
If I can get this shit hashed out.
であると親父に誇示していた。
お父さんは古いタイプのお人や。男女には差別的な価値観を持っとった。自己顕示の強いエヴァは少々嫌われてたんとちゃうか。
Maybe you don't ask him for his opinions on, you know, immigrants and whatnot too. He might give you the answer that he likes them because they're cheap labor, but anything more than that, ooh. You know, Kinzo doesn't seem like the most progressive type.
ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
Really? I prefer my tea with nothing in it. You just have unrefined taste, my guy. Since you can still drink black tea without sugar, it was exactly the same as saying that study was unnecessary for a woman. Those infuriating words were ones that my older brother had abused me with when I had been in despair, wanting to go to college but denied by father. I had protested that advancing to college was essential if I was to acquire the education and class benefit the eldest daughter education and class befitting the eldest daughter of the Ushimiya family. But the replies I received from father and my brother were, in summary, exactly the same. How conceited for a woman. Since the time I was born into the Ushimiya family, I hadn't taken that name lightly even once. And furthermore, nor had I ever taken lightly father's name, Ushimiya Kinzo. It seems like we're getting Ava focused this time. She's gonna be the, you know, the lion mother that survives the first culling, I guess. It was an old family with a long history, but it had lost all its wealth and its business in the Great Kanto earthquake and almost sank for a time. Then father, with his ingenious talent, had taken control and revived it to being even greater than it had been before. Almost like my family, except they lost everything in the Great Depression, had to sell the resort and the golf course and the company. And now there's nothing. I'd forgotten even once what it meant to be the daughter of the great Ushimiya Kinzo. Therefore, I'd always made every effort to become worthy of that name. Class worthy of the Ushimiya family, schooling, manners, and leadership. Even if I was far from reaching father's level, I deepened my knowledge in economics and finance and tried to improve myself so that I could help out with that at any time. However, in the end, there never came a time when father acknowledged that. To father, a woman was only meant to support a man, and nothing further than that was permissible. I wondered when it was that I understood that. Probably understood that ever since I was a young girl. But to truly accept it, I had to wait until I had grown up. Yeah, you know, physically run into those walls yourself. Compared to my own effort, you couldn't have said that Kraus, my older brother by 2 years, tried to become deserving of the Ushimiya family name. Ever since we were young, my brother kept saying that it was natural that he'd succeed father just because he was born a man. He kept repeating that, as though there were an absolute gap between us. I couldn't stand it. Even though I always got better grades than my brother, even though I became class president while he was stuck as vice president of his class. Even so, my brother was considered to be the appropriate person to succeed the Ushimiya family just because he was a man. Of course, you could get away with gender discrimination in those days. No, it was even considered a virtue in those days. How traditional. It was a time when women were looked down upon, and it was said that when a woman is born, she is to obey her parents. When she gets married, she is to obey her husband. and when she gets old, she is to obey her children. But because that way of thinking existed, I wanted to overturn it. Innocently, I kept trying to prove that I was the most fit. However, eventually, I realized that all my efforts were doomed from the beginning.
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
それはどういう意味よ、兄さん。
Oh god, Ava used to have like a fucking Hime cut.
男には男にしか務められないことがあるように、女とて女にしか務められないことがあるんじゃないかね。子を産み育て、一家の主を
I
支え
think
る
the
のは
crop bangs though. I like that look.
女でなければできぬ務めだと
Just giving you a,
思う
you
が
know,
ね
a hint to my tastes.
女には勉強や仕事をする必要がないと言いたいの？
そこまでは言わ
Yeah,
ないよ。
you gotta study a little. You can't have a dunce.
無学な女など話していても疲れるだけだ。だが、
Yeah, you just need to know some like trivia to make you, you know, interesting to talk to.
お前のように自己主張の激しい女では、未来の夫もさぞや苦労すると思うのだがね。
女は結婚して夫の陰にいろとそう言いたいの？
Yes.
余計なお世話よ。
お前が親父殿を尊敬していて、その娘としてふさわしくありたいと思う気持ちは、
Yeah, but you know, you're
我が妹ながら
fucking
見上
elbowing
げ
your
た
way
もの
into
だ。
my spotlight here.
私にも尊敬できることだ。
気持ち悪い。何が私よ。この間まで俺だったくせに。もう当主気取りなの？
Oh, okay.
当主は私が継ぐことに最初から決まっている。にもかかわらず、お前は自分も当主になれるかのように錯覚して、無駄かつ暴走した努力をしているに過ぎんのだよ。
暴走した努力
That'd
で
be a
す。
shame if you fucking took a trip down a flight of stairs, huh?
私が大学院に進みたいと言い出すのがそんなにもおかしいっていうの？
ああ、おかしいね。お前は確かに栄光あ
Well, I
る
guess it
後
would
ろ
just go
宮
to
家の長女
Rudolph.
だよ。やがてはその家紋を背負って、父にとって最も価値ある相手と婚約することになるだろう。だが、そこで求め
Yeah,
られ
like
るのは
the
過剰な学識
CEO of
ではない。
Denny's, or whatever it is that fucking Hideyoshi does.
夫をいたわる優しい気持ちと家事能力、そして一家の長を
I
立
was
て
in
る
like the
控えめ
family
な
business
態度だ。
restaurant.
お前にはそれが
God,
完
Denny's.
全
It's
に
been a while
欠
since I had
落してい
Denny's.
る。
Even longer since I had it sober.
それは後ろ宮家の令嬢として果たしてふさわしいことなのかね。
私は真相の令嬢のつもりなんかないわよ。お父様の仕事を手伝ってあげられる最高の人間でありたいと思った
Yeah,
だ
but
け
he
よ。
doesn't want that help.
ならそれ
At least
は
not from you.
後ろ宮家令嬢としてふさわしくあるべきではないのかね。お前と来たらなんだね。
Yeah, in his eyes, you just need to get married off to fucking some influential, powerful person so you can rope him into the family.
いい年をしていまだに男勝りで、家事炊事はおろか、男を喜ばせる化粧一つ身につけていないじゃないか。最近は喧嘩の稽古までしてるというじゃ
Yo,
ないか。
let's go!
失礼な。喧嘩じゃないわよ。武道は心の修練に最適な
Yeah,
の
you
よ。
know, keeps you nice and toned, too.
それに叱るべき場に出るときは十分女として気を使ってるわよ。何が言いたいのよ。女は男に仕える奴隷であれと、しゃしゃり出るなと、そう言いたいわけ？
それを認めるのはエレガントではないが、お前の勘違いを正すには少々毒のある言葉も必要かと思う
Oh, God.
よ。だから言い切ろう。女は男
I
に
just
仕え
had the
るた
connection
め
that
に
Krause
存
would
在
totally
す
be
る。
the kind of person to go on Twitter and fucking rant about the
そ
SJWs.
して男は女を養うため
Maybe
に
maybe not on
存
like his
在
main
する。
account. He would have like a burner side account where he could like vent his real opinions because on his main, you know, he would have to keep it professional.
女の仕事は男の背中を守り、家庭を守って子を育てることだ。それは本来言葉で気づかされることではない。おのずと気づくことだ。しかしお前は、
Mhm.
いくつになってもそれを自覚しなかったな。だから社会に出る前に兄である私がその誤解を解くのだよ。感謝してほしいものだね。
God, what a smug fucking asshole.
それは全ての女への侮辱よ。いや、いいえ。 私は自分のことを女だと思ったことなどないし、女だからと甘えたことなど一度もない。私のどこが兄さんに劣っているというの？成績も経歴も何もかも私の方が勝っていて、ただ男である以上の何も持たない兄さんが私の何を見下せるっていうのよ。
Very progressive thinking of you, Ava.
身の程をわきまえているか否かだよ。私は次の当主としての
Maybe a
心
little
構えを
too
日
ahead of your
々
time.
養っている。それは将来必ず必要になることだ。だがお前は違う。嫁ぎ、後ろ宮の席を失うことが決まっているくせに、見る必要のない幻を見ている。何がそんなに不満なんだ。仮に男に生まれようとも、当主を継ぐのはお前ではないだろうに。
Yeah, but then there might be a shot, you know, if you were a real fuck up, you could just get disinherited.
お前は何がそんなにも不満で私に突っかかってくるのか。
何が不満かですって？兄さんはいつも自分は当主後継ぎだからと私を見下して、そのくせ
Yeah, seems pretty frustrating. What's so unsatisfying, he says. A billion grudges, hard feelings, humiliations that I'll never forget cross through the back of my mind. And all of them built up at the same time, coming on my throat as nothing more than a shameful moan.
何事か想像し、沈黙を尊ぶのは神だけではないぞ。
お父さん。
お父様。
Our sibling fight was probably overheard. Father entered with a clearly displeased
ク
face.
ラウス、また兄弟喧嘩か。お前にはなぜに弟や妹たちを率いる貫禄
Yeah,
が
why are you always
宿らぬ
fucking
のか。
fighting with them instead of just getting along? My god.
長男が聞いては切れるぞ。
No charisma. In a flash, he struck Krause's face. I prepared myself to be struck in the same way, but I wasn't hit.
申し訳ありません、お父さん。
お前に足りぬのは貫禄だけではない。まだまだ足りぬ。何もかもが未熟だ。
Yep.
にもかかわらず一人前を気取っておる。それを語るには100年早いことを肝に銘じ、研鑽に努めよ。わしをこれ以上息子の不出来で嘆かせるでないぞ。
はい。
Ah, poor Krause, cursed with being just average when all his siblings are fucking better than him.
さらに努力します。
Maybe except for Rosa. It was as if those words were directed at me. Even when he was being yelled at by Father, he was still bragging to me about how special he was, about how he was the successor. I just couldn't stand it, and finally spoke what was on my mind. Even though I realized that it was improper for a person of the Ushiromiya family.
お父様、教えてください。私の何が劣っているというのですか？私はお父様の名に恥じない人間になれるよう、
You don't
今
got
日
that
もあらゆ
why?
る勉強と努力を重ねてまいりました。
Just get the right chromosomes, lol.
どうか私にも何が劣っているのかお教えください。私はこれ以上何を身につけたならお父様に認めていただけるのですか？
またその話か。お前には何と言えばわかるのだ。お前に期待していることなど何もない。女は女らしく料理や裁縫を学んでおればいい。貴様には女の心構えがないのだ。
Ouch.
夫に仕えようとする気心が男に尽くそうという海外しさが全く感じられぬ。
She seems to get a house husband.
何のための女なのか。後ろ宮家の令嬢であることを自覚しておるの
Wouldn't
か。
get along with Kinzo very well.
なのに学びたがることは男の真似事ばかり。お前の役割はクラウスの真似事ではないのだぞ。お前には自らの役割が分かっているのか。
She does not.
私は後ろ宮家の人間としてお父様の名に恥ずかしくない。
その時点でもう間違っておるわ。
No one in this fight.
役割は家を出て嫁ぎ、わしにと
Fucking
って有
stubborn old
益な
mule
男
stuck in his
を連れ
ways.
てく
No
る
change
こと
in his
だ。
mind.
そして夫に尽くし子を産み増やせ。夫の一族に褒めたたえられる良妻であれ。 お前に男を喜ばせる何ができるというのか？茶の作法があるというのか？
I mean, she's kind of pretty.
料理の才能がある
Nice to
と
look at.
いうのか？何もない。お前がやっているのはみんなクラウスの真似事ばかりではないか。
Yeah, and who wants to be around someone like Krause, huh?
後宮家はクラウスが継ぐ。お前がそれに不満を唱えるというのなら、それはこの私に逆らうということだ。お前は我が娘でありながら父の言うことを聞けぬというのか。出て行け。感動だ。お前に後ろ宮など語らせん。感動だ、感動だ。
Yep, get the rubber stamp.
お父さん、しっかり落ち着いてください。源氏さん、水を持ってきてもらえますか？
はい、ただいま。
エヴァ、席を外せ。本心
Yeah,
ではないさ。
let your father have his fucking fit in peace.
私がなだめておく。
感動だ。私の言うことが危険なら感動だ。
Man, Kinzo, you just kind of suck, don't you? His father struggled with a fit of heavy coughs. My brother patted his back, as if that were naturally his duty. So vexing for me, then, to let him monopolize that duty. If I approached father carelessly, I'd probably be hit again. However, I fearlessly tried to approach father's back. Genji
エ
blocked
ヴ
me.
ァ様、今は席をお
Yeah.
外しになられた方が良いでしょう。
Just gonna make it worse.
親方様は今日はご機嫌がよくありません。
なぜに私の息子たちはこうも不出来な
Oh,
の
because
か。
you're a fucking toxic piece of shit.
クラウスは貫禄が足りず、エヴァはいつまでたってもじゃじゃ馬だ。男らしい男はおらず、女らしい女もいない。私の育て方がいつどこでどう間違ったのか。なぜだ源氏。私は何をいつどこでどう間違
Well, you
え
haven't
たと
started
いうのか。
locking yourself up completely in your study yet, but it's pretty clear you don't really care about them that much. You know,
親方様は何もお間違いになってはおりません。
your family is just kind of secondary concern to you. You know, compared to black magic study and getting back
ク
Beatrice.
ラウス様はたくましいご子息に。エヴァ様は
Sturdy.
麗しいご令嬢に
That's
成
the
長
best
されました。
compliment you could come up with.
何もお間違いにはなっておりません。
あれのどこが麗しいというのか。淑女どころか男の真似事ばかり。感動だ、感動だ。
All right, Grandpa, let's get you to bed.
お父さん、それは私からよくエヴァに言い聞かせたところです。エヴァもこれからは心を入れ替えて、レディーとして振る舞うと約束してくれました。
Right? Wink, wink.
どうかもう少しの猶予をいただけませんか？
何がレディーだ。うわ感動だ、感動だ。
How'd this guy fucking last this long? My god. Go quickly. I'll handle this for you. Gross gave me a look telling me that. Did I take the wrong path? Just like father and my brother had said? They were right that I never studied how to be a lady. Everything I had learned was because I had hoped I could help father someday. Wait, was that really the case? Hadn't I always had a growing sense of rivalry with my brother, with whom I'd had a bad relationship since I was a young girl? And wasn't I trying to get the better of him by stealing his position as successor to the head? Yes. Every time, my brother told me that men should be manly and women should be womanly. I had been tormented by this unreasonable discrimination because of my sex, something I was born with and couldn't do anything about. I had resisted. I had endeavored to study until today so that I could prove that I wasn't inferior, even though I was a woman. In that case, wasn't the basis of my love of learning just a boring inferiority complex towards my brother? Father had expected me to be a lady with whom he could get out in public and not be embarrassed. Had I betrayed that expectation and earned grades to intimidate my brother just to clear away that pent-up resentment from my childhood? Probably. People get weird motivations.
違うわ。私が後宮家の跡継ぎになるんだって。あなたは私に誓ったわ。あんたは。
The one who came whispering to me was myself, born in my heart on the day I made that vow. Myself on that day as a little girl. I was about to say, it didn't look like you were, you were in your fucking sailor uniform in there. This is your internal vision of yourself. That's right. She was my only ally. Whenever I was suffering, whenever I felt like I could take no more, she would always quietly appear and take my side. Whenever I found myself with my head in my hands, slumping over difficult problems, she would always appear and support me. As I had grown and forgotten my time as a girl, I had also begun to forget my conversations with her.
私、後宮エヴァは絶対に後宮家の当主になるの。そして、あのムカつく高慢ちきなクラウスを見返してやるの。そのために一緒に頑張ろうって、あの日私たちは約束したわ。
I mean, I get, like, you know, thinking to yourself, but I don't know about having complete, like, dialogues with a completely other version of yourself in your head.
そうね。
That's a little much.
私は後宮家の当主跡継ぎになるってあの日にね。
On that day, when I had been overcome with sadness, wondering why I was even alive, you appeared inside me and lent me your
お父
strength.
様に認められたかった。兄さんの花を明かしてやりたかった。そうすれば惨めな自分に決別ができると信じていたわ。
In those days, I had really believed that I had no other purpose in life than to be looked down upon by my brother. It's painful just remembering those days. Yeah, being a teenager fucking sucks. The wound, the tear that split open in my heart. She taught me how to sew up that wound. I would change my anger into effort and improve myself. Become a person more worthy to be head than Kraus was, and triumph over him by making Father accept me. Perfect revenge. I knew more or less that a woman couldn't succeed the head. But if I could become so superior that I could overturn that, then surely even Father would select me to be his successor. If that happened, then I could have the greatest, ultimate, most perfect revenge against my brother, who always acted like it was completely natural for him to succeed the head.
そうすれば私たちの心の傷は癒えるの。
You say that.
その日まで頑張ろうって誓い合ったわ。
I don't think it's that easy.
なのに、あなたはその約束を破るの？クズ、育児なし、へそかんで死んじゃえば？
Even though she has the form of my younger self, she is still another me. And she has a sharp tongue. After all, she's me.
自分に言われても腹が立つわね。そこまでボロクソに言われる筋合いはないわ。ならばその怒りを勉強に費やしましょうよ。
Hell yeah, good feel.
怒りを力に変えるのが私の魔法。この力で何度もあなたの窮地を救い。
Yeah, probably one of the best things, like, in my personal development, like, in the past, like, I don't know, 5, 6 years. It's probably like when I was 21, 22. You know, before that, I was always, like, kind of a people pleaser. Like, I never wanted to get angry at anyone because I'm like, oh no, it's fine. They have their own perspective, yada yada. But once I kind of internalized, like, no, it's perfectly reasonable to just get mad at people. Fuck them. Like, you know, my life improved a lot. Like, learning to, like, channel, like, spite and hate and anger into, like, more productive avenues instead of just brushing it off. But, like, you know, use it as something to push you forward. You know, once I learned how to do that, I feel like my life got a lot better.
私の魔法がある限り、あなたにできないことなどありはしないわ。そうね。怒りはいつも私の原動力だったわ。いつからそれを忘れてしまったのかしら。
Just gotta use it constructively.
私を思い出せたなら
Don't be using it
あの魔法
destructively.
の力は再び私たちのもの。さあその怒りを力に変えて
Woo!
もっともっと勉強に励みましょう。きっと私たちにはまだまだ勉強が足りないのよ。大学院に進んでもっといっぱい
It's
勉
like
強
this
して
year for my
優れた成績を出して
promotion
クラ
test.
スを追い
I'm
詰め
going
て
to
やり
study
ましょ
that PDG like a motherfucker because promotion rates for my career field were 9% last year, even though I scored like cumulatively like 30 points better than everyone else. It's just it's going to be fucked for the next couple of years. So, you know, I think that's bullshit. So, I'm mad. So I'm going to study like a motherfucker and ace that thing.
あいつなんでもなさそうな顔してるけどきっと心は相当追い詰められてるわ。早く身の程を思い知って死んじゃえばいいのに。そうすれば私たちが当主になれる。
Well,
ルドルフは辞退してくれるわ。
you sure about that? I could see him doing it and just being like, oh, that's kind of like a lot of work and responsibility. Like,
あの子は私には逆らえないもの。よして、もうこれ以上勉強してもお父様は私を認めてくれないのよ。どうして？お父様は私に女らしくしろと言っているのよ。私がどれだけ頑張ろうと。
well, you know, you're a woman, so anything you do is
た
therefore
とえ私が
womanly.
兄さんより先に生まれていたとしても、私に当
Just
主を
gotta
譲
play
る
a
ことはない
perspective
のよ。
game, you know?
私がどれだけ努力
And
を
then you
重
can justify
ねよう
anything
とも
you do.
私は女以上の何者にもなれない。認められない。何の努力もしない兄さんを超えられない。永遠に見下され続ける。お父様もクラウスも最低の男尊主義者だわ。早く死んじゃ
What
え
a
ばい
bunch
い
of
のに。
chauvinist pigs, eh? She would curse in my place. Words that I couldn't say carelessly, she would say for me. Even though I understood that she was just another part of myself inside me, I felt like she was the only ally I had who would sympathize with me. Well, you know, you're the only one who can really ever 100%, you know, understand yourself, so. However, while sympathy might calm my heart somewhat, it wouldn't do anything to improve my current situation. In the end, she could only console me when I was dejected by reality, and for the amount of time I needed to accept it.
ありがとう。もう結構よ。こうとなったらお父様が驚くような淑女になってやるわ。兄さんなんかとは比べ物にならない立派な男を探して。ダメ、そんなの。
Can't value yourself off, you know, another person. She rejected my timid thoughts. I know why. Because she is me. I know why.
お父様は少なくとも今は女に当主を継がせないと言っている。でもそれすらも所詮はお父様が決めたルールでしかないの。お父様が決めた以上、
Yeah.
そ
You
れ
can
を
just
破
decide
棄
on
でき
another
るのも
rule.
お父様。人の気持ちなど浜のマサゴが尽きるよりはるかに早く変わるわ。クラウスが愚鈍な男であることは私たちが立証しなくてもやがてお父様も理解する。
Wishful thinking.
その時男女の境のくだらない垣根はそれを設けたお父様によって取り払われるの。その日は必ず来るわ。どうして必ずなんて言えるのよ。
Just keep telling yourself that.
それが私の魔法だから。あなたが信じてくれさえすればこの魔法は必ず奇跡を呼ぶの。私の魔法の源はあなたの信じる心だけ。
Wow. That sounds strangely familiar to something we've heard before. If I can use that magic, then surely, until the day I die, I'll never have any doubt that someday I will become the head. Probably not, and don't call me Shirley. But I don't know if that's the right thing for Ushermia Ava. I almost called her the Ushermia Ava, you know, how high and mighty of her. Shouldn't I aim to become the kind of lady that Father hoped for? Someone he can take out into society and boast about? Father might take a better view of me if I were reborn. Maybe my brother could find his own lifestyle, and I could find mine. Besides, no matter what, I just can't imagine that my father, stubborn as he is, would not only allow a woman to succeed the head, but also skip my older brother and select me for the leadership.
信じないの？ あのね、私思ったの。私には当主は告げないかもしれないけれど、私は女で子を産むことができるわ。そして兄さんには未だ縁談もない。
Yeah, you know, just start sneaking suspicious chemicals into his tea so that way he's fucking shooting blanks.
もし兄さんに子供ができず、私だけが子供を産めたなら、兄さんの次の当主は
Just keep
私の子
giving him
供ということ
estrogen
に
so
な
that
る
way
で
he
しょ。
can't come. Antidepressants too.
それはつまり、私が兄さんから当主の座を奪うのと同じ意味にならないかしら。本気で言ってるの？ええ、本気よ。少女時代からの決意を捨てるのは確かにとても悲しいこと。私の少女時代そのものであるあなたを裏切るのは、私も心苦しいわ。でも、それが一番現実的なのよ。
Well, it's good to be realistic, I guess. In that moment, my body changed. I was no longer myself from back then, but as I am now, a wife and a mother. Yes, this is a dream. Even so, she still possessed the same ambition and desire as always. She argued back, with her expression displaying clear displeasure at this change.
夢を捨てるの？
Alright, that makes more sense about why you'd be arguing face to face with another version of yourself.
そして私も捨てるの？捨てるんじゃない。私も大人になってあなたと決別する日
I
が
don't
来
really
た
get
という
like
ことよ。
the memory dreams. Mostly my dreams are just kind of like random bullshit, or either me like stuck in the car trying to get to work. Those are my like stress nightmares. Is like I'm 15 minutes late and I'm stuck in traffic and the light will never turn green. Like that's the rough shit I get. Or I'm driving and then I just never get there. It's just like an endless road.
そうね。エヴァはもう大人になったわ。魔法の使い方さえ忘れてしまった。今は一児の母。
No longer have a believing heart.
自ら夢を叶える魔法を忘れ去って、その夢を息子に押し付けている。自らの人生を
You know,
お父様やクラウスによってめちゃくちゃ
it
にさ
kind
れ
of sounds
たくせに、
bad, but you know that's
あなた
kinda
も
like
自らの夢を息子に
part of
押し
being a
付けて
parent, I guess.
めちゃくちゃにしようとしているの。それが大人というものなの？ジョージはどこに出しても恥ずかしくない自慢の息子よ。
Yeah, but you won't let him fuck Shannon.
私には叶えられなかった夢をジョージなら叶えられるかもしれない。
You know, the one thing that would make him truly
ジェシカ
happy.
なんて成績も貧困も不良じゃない。それに女なのよ。ジェシカさえ辞退してくれればジョージが後継ぎになることだって。
You see a bit of yourself in Jessica? My heart pained even as I said it. Am I just forcing my own regrets onto George? I don't have any right to disparage Jessica. And to hit her with the same words that had caused me so much suffering is just horrible. I understand. Wanting to triumph over my brother was nothing more than my personal revenge. I mustn't use George for that.
だから私自らが復讐するわ。ルドルフとローザを味方に兄さんから金をせしめようという計画がある
The
の。
tiny victories, you know? It's the little things in
きっ
life
と
that
意
make
志
it
報
worth
いる
living.
ことができるわ。
Like fucking squeezing your older siblings for money.
何しろ
Blackmail.
兄さんがお父様の資産
No
を
greater
つまみ
high
食
than
いして
that.
いるのは確かなんだから。つまんない計画。そんなのさっさとやめて泣き寝入りでもしちゃえば？私たちは後ろ宮家の当主になるの。その夢をごまかさないで。だから絶対に叶えられると私を信じて。
You say you've thrown it away, but you know, it's still back there in your mind.
私の魔法を信じて。信じたら魔法は力を持つのかしら。うん。私の魔法はどんな願いも必ず叶えるの。信じるわ。信じるから。その魔法で奇跡を起こして。そうでなくちゃ私の心の傷は永久に癒されない。
You have a hole in your heart, you should go see a cardiologist.
ならよく聞いて。私の魔法の言葉、そしてそれを理解して。謎が解けたなら
Please, no more
私たちは
riddles.
後ろ宮家の当主になれるの。だから耳を澄ましてよく聞いて。
What's the magic? behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved home of old. You who seek the golden land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. Yeah, I just gotta solve the epitaph.
エヴァ姉さん、そろそろ着くみたいですよ。
As her shoulder was tapped by Kyrie, Ava jumped and awoke from her doze.
ごめんなさいね。
Eyes are a different color too from her past self.
寝ぼけてたわ。驚かせてしまってごめんなさいね。
For sure, her eyes were more blue in the flashback.
エヴァおばさん、
You know,
ぐっすりでしたね。
I can think of one character who knows magic that has blue eyes.
朝はだいぶ早かったんすか？
まあね。
Maybe come to her dream and pour her a little poison into her ears.
恥ずかしいところを見せちゃったわ。ごめんなさい。
眠れるくらい余裕があるのは大したもんだぜ。バートラなんかずっと落ちるーったの沈むーったの。
Lay off, man.
ないやつだぜ。
うるせえな。
My dude was scared. Nothing wrong with that.
人間誰しも
Yeah.
苦手の一つや二つくらいあるもんだぜ。
Battler and Jessica went back out, squabbling merrily. Rudolph also made a face of asking, "Are you alright?"
しっかりしろよ。親父たちの顔を見れば眠気もすっ飛ぶさ。
Yeah, we gotta present a strong, united front here.
せいぜいお互い頑張ろうぜ。
そうね。特に今年はしっかりしないとね。
だね。お互いケツの穴を引き締めてかかろうぜ。
Rudolph said these strict words in a small voice that only Ava could hear. Failure would not be tolerated in this year's family conference. All of their companies were hanging in the balance. Even Rudolph's face looked a little tense. Ava's expression probably looked tense as well.
母さん、荷物を持つよ。甲板に上がろう。
ありがとう。ジョージは本当に気が利くわ
Yeah, be a
ね。
dear and carry it, will ya?
どうして急にお礼なんか。母さんらしくもない。
Yeah, you're usually more of a bitch.
ジョージ到着やで。
No, I guess not really to George.
荷物をまとめるんや。
こらマリア、転ぶから走るのをやめなさい。
And let her fall. See, Maria was already getting excited. She ran circles around Hideyoshi, escaping from Rosa, who was trying to catch her.
どうしたの母さん。具合悪いの？
Nah, she's thinking about the epitaph.
ジョージ荷物を持って先に行ってなさい。母さんは貧血だろ。わしが肩を貸すわ。
You need some iron supplements?
そう。
Want some like gummy
わかっ
vitamins?
たよ。先に行ってるよ。
By looking at Ava's peculiar expression, Hideyoshi realized that it had not been a pleasant awakening and made George go on ahead. Rudolph's family and Rosa's family also went up onto the deck, leaving only Ava and Hideyoshi inside the boat. Ava had a vague expression on her face, as though she still hadn't been able to escape from her daydream. I think it was more like an actual dream, because you were actually asleep, unless you're talking about her muttering to herself about the gold.
どないしたんや。
Not for the epitaph.
神妙な顔して。
私、ジョージを自分の復讐の道具にしてたんじゃないかしら。私の兄さんに対する子供じみた敵対心のせいで、あの子の人生を自分のおもちゃにしてしまってはいないかしら。ああ、私はなんてこと。
It's fine. Turned out okay.
そんなことあらへん。ジョージはどこに出しても恥ずかしゅうないわしらの自慢の息子や。仮にエ
Seems
ヴァの思惑が多
relatively
少混
happy,
じっ
more
とっ
so
たと
than
しても
fucking Jessica.
結果オーライっちゅうもんやないか。エヴァはな
But, well, that's only
もうある
that
ない
word appearance. We don't really know too much what's going on inside George's head.
むしろジョージは厳しくしつけてくれたと感謝しとるくらいやで。
You sure about that?
ねえ、本当ジョージは私のこと嫌な母さんだと思ってないかしら。
He probably just thinks you're, you know, strict with the best of intentions.
そんなこと。
He's fairly reasonable and mature about these kinds of things.
エヴァの杞憂や。
秀吉様、皆様下船なさっておりますよ。おや、何か落とし物ですか？お手伝いしましょうか？
Kumasawa would come to check on them when they hadn't come up to the deck. Hideyoshi hid Ava behind his back so that her expression couldn't be seen.
ああ、すまんな。ちょっとわしのネクタイピンがいかれてもうてな。もう大丈夫や。すぐ行くで。外で
Yeah,
待って
gotta
て
look
や。
presentable and, you know, see the big man.
そうですか。それでは表でお待ちいたしております。
Yeah, read between the lines, you old bag. From that almost incomprehensible excuse, Kumasawa realized that something had come up and disappeared so that she didn't trouble them further. If she stayed there any longer, they would probably make everyone else worry too.
そろそろ行こうか。ジョージたちを心配させてまうで。
Yep, deep breaths, put on a strong face.
私本当にジョージに恨まれてない。
ああ。
No, but he would probably like him more if he, like, approved of his girlfriend.
恨まれてなんかあらへん。むしろ感謝しとるぞ。悪い夢でうなされたんか。また。
Hideyoshi knew that it wasn't rare for Ava to be tormented by nightmares. And they would always become more striking on the days leading up to the family conference. Hideyoshi knew that Ava's relationship with Kraus was still so full of antagonism that it could even be called trauma. And that she still couldn't separate herself from how she felt as a child.
それは夢や。わしが一緒にいる。こうして手をギュッ。
Yep, you're awake now, so no point in thinking about him. You'll forget it eventually anyway.
な、ほら。
痛いわ。ありがとう。もう平気よ。降りましょう。
ああ。降りようか。
Yeah, please, let's stop the shaking, for the love of God.
ごめんなさい。
ん？
さっきあなたのタバコの煙のこと怒鳴ってごめんなさい。
普段ならそんなことで謝らんくせに。
Yeah, well, you know, she's feeling vulnerable.
悪い夢見た後のお前は気弱でいかん。気にするなや。お前に煙が届いていることを気づかんかったわしが悪いんや。
私のこと嫌いになった？
ならんならん。この程度で嫌いなんて言うとったら3日もたんで。
Oh, he's got you there.
ささ、たったたった。降りるで、降り
Ah,
るで。
Hideyoshi's such a nice guy. Honestly, probably like the best out of the batch.
エヴァ様、大丈夫ですか？お体が優れませんか？
This time, Goda had to come. Looked like they had kept everyone waiting too long after all. Ava also stood up without grumbling this time. She couldn't keep on forcing her bad mood onto her husband and causing him more trouble. Because that was not something a good wife would do.
大丈夫ですか？体調が気になられるようでしたら、南條先生をお呼びしましょうか。
ありがとう。ちょっと貧血気味でね。もう大丈夫よ。
婦人
Yeah,
病
it's just
中
a
やっ
boat.
ちゃ。
Now, going through menopause?
気にせんといてや。
もうそんなの人に言わないでよ。恥ずかしいわ。
おお、すまんすまん。
Good cover, good cover. Ava elbowed Hideyoshi in the gut. By that time, her normal expression had returned, which allowed Hideyoshi to relax a little. The bright sunlight outside was almost enough to really make a person go giddy. A small plank was lowered to get off the boat, and Goda was waiting there, smiling and ready to lend them a hand.
どうぞエヴァ様、お手を。
ありがとう。
六軒島へようこそいらっしゃいました。
Ooh, what an ominous thing.
おかえりなさい。
You hearing your own voices? When she left the boat, It seemed to Ava as though she had heard the voice of her young self saying welcome back. No, it hadn't seemed that way. Somebody had said welcome back to her. After becoming a shameless adult, the voice of her young self was distant.
私は何のために生きてるの？何をどうすれば
Living to get that fat payday!
放たれるというの？
Hideyoshi heard her talking to herself. He drew Ava close to him by her shoulder, and just by his firmness, he communicated that there was no need to say anything more. Maybe it was because the typhoon was getting closer. The lively cries of the seagulls, which usually greeted them when they arrived, couldn't be heard at all. All right. That seems like a good place to stop for right now, you know. Hour and a half, that's pretty good for the first episode. You know, it even gave us a good break point, unlike episode 2, where it just fucking went on for like 6 hours until we got like a little, you know, little stop point like that. So, with that little Ava prologue out of the way, that's where we're going to end it here for today. Once again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I will see you all next time for the next episode of Umineko, where I'll hopefully be a little more high energy. I felt like I was kind of deflated today, and I apologize for that if it came off that way. But, you know, I already complained and rambled in the beginning of the episode and explained myself. So, yeah, catch you guys all later for the next time. That didn't make any sense. Bye. Mwah.